today I'm going to teach you how to make Beet Kvass. And I'll explain a little bit more about what that is as we continue, but the first thing you're going to want to do is start with sterilizing your jars. So if you have a dishwasher, you can sterilize in the dishwasher. I do not, so I just use boiling water. So I'm going to make a full gallon because between me and my girls, we go through a ton. So we're going to start with that. So what Beet Kvass is it is a fermented beverage made with beets and salt. So it's fermented like a kombucha or kefir, but unlike kefir and kombucha, it's not made with sugar. It is made with salt, more like a pickle or a sauerkraut. But it is chock full of minerals, and it has helped my health and my girls immensely. So I'm going to go ahead and dump these. You can walk with me and show the things. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and give my beets a little scrub here. I got these at Earth Fair. I don't really like the ones at Walmart. They're smaller. I haven't had as good of success with those. I have a hard time growing them in my own garden. Sometimes I can get them. So if you have them in your own garden, so much the better. Publix sometimes has them. We live down south in Florida here, so probably up north the equivalent would be like a Wegmans or something, but they have these really nice big beets that I like to use, so I don't have to use a ton of them. Just a few big ones is good. So I don't cook them, I don't even peel them, I just give them a scrub and then chop away. So some of the benefits of Beet Kvass, and I can just tell you from my own personal experience, is with my cycle. As I had gotten older, and as my friends had gotten older too, I thought it was just an age thing. You know, my period was getting heavy, and it was clotting, and it was really disgusting, and it was taking forever. You know, it went from a perfect like 5-day cycle to an 8 or 9-day cycle, and you know, up all night a couple of nights. And I thought, well, I guess this is just what happens as we get older. But it turns out it's not just what happens when you get older. That's what happens when you have stress and deficiencies and toxicities. And so as you get toxins out of your life and nourish your body with minerals, you can fix that. And Beet Kvass has been one of the wonderful ways, an easy way really to help my body detoxify. It's a great liver and blood cleanse. And I can tell you, if I'm having a rough cycle, if I haven't been drinking this on a daily basis, but I come upon my cycle and it's having a rough cycle, one glass of this and in 10 minutes I feel so much better. So, and also, there's so many minerals in this, including like manganese and magnesium and copper. And so sometimes I go running with a friend, and if I have been drinking my Beet Kvass, my endurance is so much better. So when you are, eating beets would probably be good too. I prefer to drink my beet. So I just have so much more endurance. But I drink a little bit of this every day, anywhere from 2 to 8 ounces. And my cycle went from a nasty, gross 8-9-day cycle to back to a normal 5-day cycle in just a month. So it's been really beneficial. And I know it's helped my friends too, because when you find something that works for you, you got to tell your friends. So I've told some of my friends, and it's helped them as well. It is a salty drink. It's a little bit sweet from the beets, but mostly it's just like a sweet, salty. So I tell people you either hate it or you love it. But a lot of times our bodies know what it needs, and I crave this. And it helps my daughters too. So I have 4 teenage daughters, and they all like it, which surprised me, because I thought for sure a couple of them who are a little bit more picky than the others would not like this at all, but really they all enjoy it. So, and just think, I always, the doctrine of signatures tells us that, you know, things work for what they look like. So, you know, walnuts look like a brain, so they're good for your brain, and things like that. And I don't know how much stock I take into that, but I do think it is interesting. You know, these blood red beets are good for your blood. So it's just I don't know, almost use it as a mnemonic device for me. So straighten these out a little bit. So it's just beets and a tablespoon each for each. These are half-gallon mason jars. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of mineral salt for each jar. So mineral salt, you could use the Celtic sea salts, the Himalayan salts. This happens to be Redmond's because it's what was available when I went to order my bulk food order. And then you have to have some kind of starter. So sometimes I have a previous batch of Beet Kvass, a little bit left over. So I'll put a 1/4 cup of that in for a starter. But our last batch will remain nameless of who made it, but they didn't measure, and so it didn't turn out quite right. A good starter culture is, if you don't have a previous batch, is Bubby's sauerkraut juice or pickle juice, which you could get at any health food store or more of the higher end grocery stores like a Publix. I'm sure Redmond's has it, Earth Fare has it, those kind of places. I haven't seen them at Walmart, but you know, you can keep a lookout. So I would do a 1/4 cup of juice for each jar. And it's all right if you get a few pieces of cabbage in there from the sauerkraut. And then you just top it off with water. I typically like to use distilled water just because I know it doesn't have anything nasty in it. We do have well water, so it might be okay, although I've never had it tested. So I prefer to use distilled water or some kind of filtered water. So if you have a Berkey or something, you could use that. I don't. But just definitely, if you have city water, don't use that unless you have a good filtration system. So that's that. So we're just gonna give these a shake here. So these will sit on my counter for anywhere from 2 to 7 days, just depending on how hot it is, how quickly they ferment. Usually for us, it's about 5 to 7 days. I do live in Florida, but it's summer right now, so it might take less right now because the house is kind of warm. So it's usually about 76, 78 in the house if the AC is keeping up with us. So these will sit on my counter for 5 to 7 days, and we'll get you back in a few days when it's ready to strain and bottle. Thanks.